Hello everyone, just going to go over the ResMed S-9 Loomis system. And so what we have here, a very simple operation, is have our start-stop button, our main screen. This is to the home page right now. See, it says home, it has info, push dial, and setup. We have our info menu button, our setup menu button, our push dial, and over here we have our alarm mute. So pretty straightforward. We'll go ahead and go into the clinical menu. So by pressing the setup menu button and the push dial, 3 seconds should get you into settings. You have options, reminders, and configuration. It's settings and configuration we're going to be the most interested in. And the reason why I'm pausing it, configuration, it's at this point where you can restore the factory defaults. So if you're setting this up on a patient for the first time, you can go in here and reset everything back to the factory defaults. According to the manufacturer, 90% of our patients that use these devices, the factory defaults will be sufficient for them when it comes to trigger and cycle. And so there are some alarm conditions that are automatically reset when we go ahead and use the factory defaults. So to get into this, you press the dial button, you scroll down to restore defaults. It will ask you, are you sure you want to do this? Since it's a new patient, I'm yes. It's going to give you a tone to tell you that it's doing this process of restoring the factory defaults. It takes about 30 to 60 seconds to do this. And when it is done, it will give you a screen that says it's completed the task, just like that. Allows you to press any key. I'm going to press my dial button. And now I'm going to go ahead and erase any data that was collected on the device. It's going to ask again, erase all data, yes. It's going to tell me it's erasing all data, and once it's done, in that 30 to 60 second window, it's going to let me know. And then I will go up to settings and set the settings for my patient. And it looks like it's done here. So now I'm able to select back, which takes me back out into this menu selection, and I can scroll up, select settings, and now it's going to let me select the mode. I press it again, I can move between ST, timed, V-Auto, ASV, ASV Auto, VPAP, or VAPS, or IVAPS, excuse me, and PAC. So I'm going to go ahead and just stick with the traditional ST. Allows me to scroll down to IPAP, EPAP, respiratory rate, TI min and max, the rise time, the trigger and the cycle, the ramp max, which if I'm going to set a ramp on this patient, I have to make sure this is at 45 minutes. And then it'll allow me to set whatever my EPAP, starting EPAP is going to be. It's going to ask me questions about the circuit. And so first it's going to ask me what type of mask am I using. Full face, nasal, nasal ultra, or pediatric. Select full face. It asks what tube. You can select standard or you can pick 3-meter tube. AB filter, yes, because it's our white filter off to the side here. External humidifier, no. On our alarms, it's going to ask for a low minute volume alarm. That's determined based on our patient's minute volume. High leak, which will always be defaulted to on. That's your leak alert. Non-vented mask, which means it's sensing to see if there's a whisper valve on the patient's mask. So that's a good safety feature there. Low SpO2 is going to be off because we already have a pulse ox on the patient. And apnea alarm can remain off. The alarm volume / test will tell you that this is the alarm volume, so is it low, medium, or high, and it does default to medium. Once I'm at the bottom of this main menu under settings, it allows me two options. I can either go back, which will take me to the top of the settings menu, or I can select home. If I'm happy with all my settings, I can select home and it'll take me back out to the home menu. So I'm going to go ahead and pick home menu. And I'm going to go ahead and start the device. And we see a treatment screen here. It's also going to give me an alarm condition after a little bit. But we have a treatment screen here. In order to scroll through the 3, because this 1 of 3 tells me there's 3 panels, I press the button. And now it'll tell me percent of spontaneous, it'll tell me trigger and cycle. There's a little bit more data here. And then the last screen is for any alarms that have triggered. So that's how you get through those 3 screens. In order to do mask fit on this device, much like in VPAP, the device has to be off. I can press the dial for 3 seconds, and then it'll tell me that my mask fit is good. It's going to pump gas through the mask, and that way you can assess if there's a leak. If you forget to stop it again, and then start the device, after 3 minutes we'll click over into whatever settings you have set up on the device itself. So those are some basic functions. Again, just going over the buttons. This is start stop. This is your home page, your information button, your setup menu button, your push dial, and your alarm mute button. When it comes to alarms, we're going to go ahead and start the device here and let it ring. Again, we set the alarm at medium, and that's under the alarm conditions. On any screen under settings at the bottom, it'll be listed under alarms. Should be going off here after a second here. Make sure I have gas going through the system. Yes, I do. If I press the alarm mute, when the alarm is signaled, it will stop for... It'll silence the alarm for 2 minutes. You notice it's kind of blinking at us. If an alarm window presents in here and it said probably low, we'll create alarm here. Hopefully it gives me a leak here in a second. When the alarm window is up and I want to clear it, I can press the push dial and it'll clear that alarm menu out. Again, the alarm will be silenced for 2 minutes. So this is a pretty straightforward device. The hookup is still the same. We're going to have an external heater and humidifier. Still have the same type of tubing. It just serves a wider brethren of patients that need nocturnal CPAP or nocturnal pressure devices for sleep apnea. So this will help with some of our patients that have central sleep apnea, and we now have the ASV and IVAPs to help with those patient populations. When we're speaking of O2 being bled into the system, please note that in your V-Auto and your V-Auto and your ASV Auto, the liter flow cannot exceed more than 4 liters per minute, or it will cause problems the way the device reads the flow signature. The other modes, okay, here we are in alarms. So you notice my alarm's going off, so I can silence it. And then if I want to clear this alarm screen, I just press the dial and it clears it. So now we're good for 2 minutes. So what I was saying about